Hello, class, and welcome. This is week 12, module 12 of our course. And of course, this week made the decision to do an introductory video. I think it was essential and necessary to do one this week with the content that we're going to be covering, as well as what you have to do, what you have to complete this week, and what's expected of you. So, let's get started here, and I won't be with you long. This is going to be just a brief video, an informative video, as you have been provided these every week in terms of what you have to do. So, action items. Refer to the news feed, of course, and when you log on to D2L, I'm quite sure that many of you all have done that already in terms of what you have to do. You have number one, the third quiz to take. That will be due Friday midnight going into Saturday morning. Quiz number three. The next thing would be your discussion questions. Now, I gave you all two discussion questions this week. That will be due on Saturday midnight going into Sunday morning. And then to wrap up week 12, your third section of your final paper will be due. That will be next Sunday midnight going into Monday morning. So let me just kind of raise the surface here a little bit in terms of what we're covering. Um, One of the things that we covered this week, all right, we're talking about forecasting customer counts. We're talking about collecting historical data. And why does that happen? What is the purpose of collecting historical data when it comes to your menu items? Well, there's some specifics that go behind that. You want to know what customers are purchasing the most and also purchasing the less. And I'm going to briefly summarize that. And that's for the sake of overhead cost, it's for the sake of keeping inventory. And then remember the word purveyors. A few weeks ago, we covered that. Your purveyors are your suppliers. So, of course, one of the things that you don't want to do is this: you don't want to request from your purveyors a large quantity amount of food items and you're not selling them. So when you're running a facility, it's really imperative to look at your historical data, what's selling and also what's not selling. So there is a qualitative data that we have to look at in terms of that. And really, to be honest with you, it's more on the restaurant side when you kind of look at qualitative. For example, what's connected to the seat turnover? What is the term for seat turnovers? Okay, those are the number of seats that are available within a dining room. Okay, and then also you have to match that up against the customers that are served within a given period. An understaffed dining room could lead to slower service if you think about it. Also, long waiting times and customers when they first enter into the establishment, if they're not being seated right away, they may grow rather impatient and they end up leaving going to your competitor. So just kind of look at the PowerPoint that I've created for you guys and provided regarding the chapter 12. And I hope everybody is still reading the textbook. I hope everybody is engaging in that content. So, with that being said, let's move on here. And again, like I said, I don't want to take a whole lot of time to lecture, but let me get into the final paper here in terms of what's expected. Now, section 3, revenue management, income statements, and discussing other expenses. Okay, the vitality of a restaurant, it's really, to be honest with you, is contingent upon minimizing your overhead. You always have to match your profit, of course, with your overhead. What do you have to pay out monthly in expenses? Also, really being specific and identifying those expenses. What are fixed expenses, meaning it's going to be the same amount every month? And what are variable expenses, meaning that the price or the amount of the expense will probably change up from a month to month basis. So what I want you all to do is this, and I know that regarding the text readings, okay, we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit here, but however, though, I want to really stay connected to the outcomes of this assignment of the final paper. You want to discuss how you're going to organize your income statements, along with revenue management for the restaurant. Discuss other expenses that are not relative to your inventory and product control, such as utility and technical cost. All right, so you can identify those as miscellaneous expenses, not really relative to purchasing your food and beverage items. Also, talk about equipment maintenance and entertainment. If you decide, for example, to have live music or something pertaining to that, that's going to be offered within the facility. Now, one of the things you want to do, some of you all, and I'm quite sure many of you all, I kind of identified this in previous assignments that I gave you, that you are pretty good at using Microsoft Excel. All right. I would like to see Microsoft Excel used in this to break down your expenses. If you are having issues, all right, regarding Microsoft Excel, feel free to reach out to me, because what you're going to do within the paper, you're going to want to do a copy and a paste. First of all, write your paragraph, but then just do a copy and paste of the spreadsheet and show just an illustration of your income statement, for example, and those different areas that I identified regarding miscellaneous cost, also equipment maintenance. Well, all that's miscellaneous, but then match that up against what your profit probably will be, in terms of what you're bringing in within the facility. So take your time with this, all right? And pretty much your writing is already formed. If you've already done sections 1 and 2 of the final paper, all right, I don't really see a lot of difficulties in terms of section 3. You all writing this, but again, if you're having any issues, if you want to run anything by me, feel free to reach out to me, okay? And I will go over this one on one with you. For example, if you want to submit a rough draft over to me by email, you can do that. I can read it and I can give you some feedback in terms of maybe what you can add on, or also what you are doing right if you're right on course. The due date, okay? Now, I want to talk about this. Extensions. You're going to see this, okay, in the newsfeed post as I open up the week here in a few minutes, week 12. Now, the last paper, the section 2 part that was written, I gave an extension to everybody for the following week. This time, all right, there won't be an extension given without points deducted. I will say that again. There won't be an extension given without points deducted. Last time I gave an extension, there was no deduction of points. Meet the deadline, class, of getting this submitted, section 3 of your final paper, by next Sunday midnight going into Monday morning. If it is late, there will be a deduction of points, 10% per what's written in my syllabus if you turn in late assignments. So keep this in mind. You want to get this done, section 3 of the final paper, and then also take the quiz. Make sure you get that done by Friday midnight, quiz number 3, which is covering the content of chapters 9 through 12. So make sure that you put that on your agenda to get that done and to meet those deadlines. Once again, all right, late work, I will accept it, but there will be a point deduction. All right, if you all have any questions regarding that, any concerns, if you're running into any difficulties, feel free to reach out to me, okay? Shoot me an email or give me a phone call or both. Okay, let's go back here. So, again, your discussion question post, okay? Post number 1 kind of came up with some different variables here, okay? These are pertaining to ratings, okay? Feedback from your customers, okay, regarding what dishes or what menu items may be the most popular or the least popular in or on your menu. So with the first discussion question post, okay, this is what I want you to do from your perspective, based on the 4 variables of star, plow horse, dog, and puzzle. Think about some food items, okay, within your establishment that has been served, or either food items that you ordered as a customer. So you can take either one or two. You can take one of the two approaches you can take regarding this. You can take an approach from being the customer, or you can take an approach from being a chef or an employee of the restaurant. And again, there are many of you all that have had experience already working within the hospitality industry, so you can kind of reflect on your own experience and you can come up with at least one example per variable. So again, keep in mind as a customer regarding this, okay, that they don't know what the food items really mean. All right. That's anybody that comes to eat at a restaurant. They're not thinking about what a star, a plow horse, a dog, or a puzzle is unless they happen to be a food critic. Okay. And they're going into the restaurant, okay, to give their analysis, okay, or their report on the quality of food and also service. So if you decide to take your approach as the customer, make sure, all right, that you think about the food items that you would order or would not order. Okay, and what would the result be in terms of those items pertaining to the four factors? Okay, and then also I connected some math with discussion question number two. I know that many of you all really are not fond of the mathematics, but it's really basic math of addition or subtraction or multiplication or division. All right, this is not trigonometry here or calculus. And thank goodness that it's not, because your instructor, okay, would probably produce an epic fail to try to teach you all calculus or trigonometry. So use table 12.2 on page 186 of the text, and I create the spreadsheet, and I want you to complete the spreadsheet, and it's pertaining to a menu analysis. Again, if you have any questions regarding this, feel free to reach out to me, class, okay? And I will answer your questions. Okay, so I think we have covered pretty much everything for Module 12. Again, you will see the announcements in the news feed in terms of the due dates and what's expected of you this week. We are winding down this semester. After this week, we will have only 3 more weeks left. And remember, you all, what I said about extensions, okay, and getting assignments turned in on time within a sufficient manner. Okay, everyone, it is Sunday, November the 7th, all right, as we are headed into a new week. And I want everybody to enjoy their week, all right, and I hope that everybody got some rest with the time going back last night for an hour. So you have an extra hour of doing everything that you want to do today. Unfortunately, though, we happen to lose also some daylight as well. Okay, this is your instructor, Professor Javier Black, and I am officially signing out of here, and you all enjoy your week. Talk to you soon.